So today I'm here with Matthew Riley to talk to him about his county council elections. So Matt, what are you actually doing?
I'm standing for county council in the elections on the 2nd of May. As far as I understand, I'm the youngest candidate in the country at 18. I got the option to stand on my birthday last September. I'm standing in the Allerton division, which is Allerton, Booton, Purlthorpe, Curtin and Walesby. And I'm generally just doing it because I'm fed up of things not being done. And I want to go out there and get rid of all this rubbish and committee business and just crack on and get the job done.
So what are you doing for the young people?
Young people is an important issue to me. I completely sympathise and understand the people, the young people in my area when they say we've got absolutely nothing to do. When I was growing up, when I was 16, 17, all we could do was go and sit on the garage wall. That was pretty much it. I know.
Rebellish Matthew Riley.
Yes. So all we used to do is just sit there. So one of the things that the people of Allerton in particular have been promised, and it's been on the cards for 20 years, is to have a skate park and a BMX track. And it is an important issue for a lot of residents, both young and old, because currently the young people have nowhere to go, and so they stand outside Tesco, which upsets the older residents who are going shopping, and the young people, it's not fair on them to have nowhere to go. Now there is plans for the skate park to be built on a floodplain by the A614, which is, I'm sure you know, is a busy road.
Yes, very busy.
By a service station where you don't know who's going to be around there at dark, and this area is by a river and it's not lit, and it's just completely dangerous. I personally think there are a lot better options, a lot better places we could put this, but the current Labour councillor seems to think that that's absolutely ridiculous, so we really are running into issues there. The best place, from speaking to youngsters, as I have been doing, would be on the land, the wasteland behind the Tesco. It's in the centre of the town.
Yep.
It's wasteland. It's, there's room there to build a big skate park and a BMX track, and it's away from residents. There's a planning officer who will be coming from County Hall, and there'll be a meeting with residents and young people. Anyone is welcome to attend, and they could submit their ideas, and then we can have a cost and we can set about doing it. It's not my skate park, it's the young people. It's the teenagers of Allerton skate park. I'm definitely not just being elected for the younger people. One of the things that County Hall is doing is we are increasing, I believe by £500,000 the elderly person's budget, and the idea is to make sure that elderly people, instead of going into care homes, they can remain independent people.
Yep.
And that is very important to me, because I think it's a terrible shame when the time comes when elderly people have to move into care homes. They want to have their own house, and that is something definitely the Conservative County Hall is working very hard to keep. It's really just about the community as a whole. Middle-aged and young adults people work a lot, and a lot of people nowadays work in the city. So one of the big things we want to do is the railway line that runs from Nottingham to Mansfield through to Worksop, the Robin Hood line. There is proposals on the table to extend it to Allerton and Edwinstowe. The line to do so is already there. We literally just need stations, which is not... It's a lengthy job, but not as lengthy as people would have us think. And that would cut the time of commuting massively, because it's currently over an hour on the bus to either Mansfield or to Nottingham.
It is, yeah.
Which is terrible. And so we can cut the time massively of commuting and the cost, and not only will that help people leave the area to go to work, it'll bring work into the area, being so close to Shield Forest. And this is really for every age. The high street was killed off when Tesco came to town.
It was, yeah.
And one thing I want to set up is a business society where all the businesses work together, and if one of them is in trouble, the others work with it to make sure it survives, and we help encourage new enterprise on the high street so we can bring Allerton town back to life and the surrounding areas. Tesco employs people, which is very beneficial to the economy. It keeps the employment rate low, people have work money to spend, but if people have got money to spend, they need somewhere to spend it, and they need a high street to do so.
Throughout this interview we've had this slideshow playing, so could you explain for a few of the photos where you was and what you was doing?
Yeah. I mean, all the images are relevant to the campaign. This one here in London, before it goes off, this is Michael Howard, Lord Howard, who I had a photo with. That day we were at a reception in the Bow Group, of which...
It's a groovy photo.
Yeah. And I was talking to MPs, particularly ones that work in the sports sector, about getting local sports, and there's another picture to do with it later on, but the football club in Allerton, their changing facilities were built in 1931, and as such they have no place to, they can't have young football team, youth teams, and they can't have youth cricket teams. They've got lots of sports there, but they can't get any money to develop it. And so with that, and with this lady here, who's the member of the European Parliament for the East Midlands, and my MP Mark Spencer, we've been working to get some funding and to get the land back off Siswells, who are the administrator, to help get funding and then regenerate the changing facilities so that they can have youth teams and sports facilities separate to the Dukery School, because a lot of people in the Alderton area do not want to use the facilities at Dukery's, and a lot can't because they're school facilities.
And not only because you're a young face that people are going to like you, but also you see from this picture here that you're actually getting stuck in. You're not one of these councillors who's got the suit and tie on, and then you just sit in an office, you've got your papers, you sit behind a desk and a computer. You're actually getting stuck in. So there's a picture of cadets here when he was a lot younger, but you was doing some work on some land there, wasn't you, to clean it up?
I was not a confident person before I did cadets, not at all. And now I've talked to crowds, 250 plus. And that was because of the skills I learnt in cadets, and I have a lot to owe that. And so that is for people that aren't into skate parks and youth clubs. That is something I would like to push, so that there's something for everybody.
Well, I'd like to say thank you to Matthew Riley for doing the interview with me to talk to him about his county council elections. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Alex.
Thank you.